in our show today, we're going to talk about gender-based violence. And with us is our guest, Satma Nyangiri. Welcome. Hi, Satma.
Hi, dear.
Welcome to another episode of Confessions.
Thank you so much for having me today.
No, thank you for making time to actually come here and share your story with us.
Thank you for having me.
Violence against girls and women is the most systemic and widespread form of human rights violation. About 35% of women and girls in the entire world have either gone through sexual or physical abuse. To inform this conversation, we have Satma here with us, who has been a victim of gender-based violence, and she will tell us more on, how she got there and how she got out of it and the journey that has been since then. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Satma Nyangiri, but most people know me as Satma Martins, or the Red Butterfly. A mother of one boy, very awesome boy. Also an actress, and just joined the modeling world. Rejoined, actually.
Oh, you were a model at some point? Stopped modeling?
Yes, very many years ago. I was a plus size model.
No.
I was.
You look so snatched.
Oh.
What's the secret? Tell us.
Eating healthy and exercising.
Right.
Yeah. Because there's a time I was 130 kgs.
What?
Yeah.
It's very hard to actually tell that you are 130 kgs.
Oh, the photos are all over social media and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, I was actually 130, so it has been quite a journey up to where I am right now. But I thank God for this far that I am. I thank God for this far. Yeah.
So you went through circumstances that exposed you to some form of violence. Can you tell us how that happened?
Well, I was married before. I don't know if I should call it a marriage or it was a come we stay, because we hadn't officiated it in church yet. We were actually in the process. So I got married in 2012. Officially moved in we moved in together officially in 2012 December. So just like all the marriages, the way they start, there was the lovey-dovey, sweetness. This guy was there for me. He was caring, he's sweet, I mean, there's no woman who won't fall for that. Right. So he was actually a very sweet guy, and one of those men who you really want to take to your parents. Yes. So honestly, I don't know what really happened, because it's not like he woke up in the morning and then he came and he was like, oh, today I want to change, I want to be this monster, and it's the way it even started, it's like I kind of ignored the small signs that were there. Yeah.
How did it start? When you guys were dating before you moved in together? How long had you been dating?
For around 2 years, but not it was on off, because we met around 2010. Then I went back to school, moved to Mombasa. 2011 we met again, but it wasn't that serious until now, 2012, when we actually met in town. It was around August.
By town you mean Nairobi?
Yes, Nairobi. So when I came to Nairobi, actually is when we started those discussions of, I think now that you're in Nairobi, we should move in together and stuff, Before we knew it, in December, we were in the same house, living together. Yes.
So did you get pregnant before you moved in, or was it after?
After. We moved in together in 2012. I got my child in 2014.
All right.
Yeah.
And before you got the child, how was your relationship like after you moved in with him?
Well, I'll say it wasn't that bad. Of course, there was those two small cheating. Let me not call them small, because really cheating is not a small thing. Right. But there were those incidences where I would find messages, someone would call at night, and he would tell me you're now the woman in my life, so I'm trying to shed these other people off. Of course, it would piss me off, but then I would have that kind of sympathy of, you are trying to get over these other women, so let me just say and see how it works out. Yeah.
So by the time you were actually checking his phone and checking his messages, was there like a red sign? Was there something that made you speculate or suspect that he could be seeing other people?
Yes, actually, there was. It's so funny. There was this specific woman who kept calling over and over again. My ex plays football, so I would accompany him for his. I would go to his games when he has practice, which he had like every day, Monday to Friday. In the evening, I would go there, giving him support and stuff. So there was this specific woman who kept calling over and over and over again. And it happened that one day I just picked the phone call. Then the things that she told me, I came and asked him later at night. But then the things that he told me, I was kind of like, no, this is not really true. Because he was like, they're doing potatoes business together. They were selling potatoes together. I don't know, he had invested in that business or something of the sort. Something that I came to find out almost 3/4 of the men say. We are in this business together with my ex, or we're doing this with the lady just to cover up their cheating, the affairs that they have and stuff. So when I pushed actually to find out what really was happening, I got to find out that they actually had an affair. Like there was something going on between the two of them. Yes. And as much as it pissed me off and stuff, that day I texted him and I told him I'm actually leaving. Then he sent me a text back. He was like, no, wait, I get home and then we get to talk about it. And I was like, okay, let me see, second chance. After all, we were raised up in a society where we were told women are the one who are supposed to
they're the glue to the family.
Yes, they're supposed to keep the family together. If you really want it to work, you need to give it that push, So I stayed. He came home in the evening. Well, as usual, he explained the way he always explained, and I fell for it as always. And yeah, we kind of moved over that. But then now that was not the end of it. That was not the end of it. He did it again, but this time it was different. It was different because I was pregnant at that time. And when he did it, it was so funny because he left me sleeping in the house at night. He had gone to the friends for a party. Actually, our neighbor at that time. So he went there for this party. Something at night. And I was pregnant. I was like, oh my goodness. Where is this guy? Pregnant women, hormones and stuff.
And that's the time you actually need your partner.
Yes. So I woke up from the bed because I kept calling him and he was not picking the calls. So I woke up, went to the neighbor, and what I found there, oh my goodness, he was there with another woman. And when I tried to confront him, he actually pushed me out of the house and down the stairs, because there were like stairs down there. It was
in a compromising situation when you went in there.
You could clearly tell something was happening because everyone was acting suspicious. Everyone was the lady was trying to fix her dress, and they started telling me stories and what. And I became hysterical. I was like, I'll beat you. What is this that is happening here?
So who said I'll beat you? Is it you or him?
Me.
You said you're gonna beat him.
No, the lady. I don't even know why I just went
ballistic.
I don't even know what happened. Yeah. But then he pushed me out of the door. He was like, stop this nonsense that you're doing, what. So he pushed me out of the door and down the stairs. I was like, oh.
And you're pregnant?
Yes.
Wow.
So I called the mom. It was almost midnight. I called the mother. I explained to her what had happened. And she told me she's gonna call him, talk to him and stuff. I went back to the house, but unfortunately I lost the pregnancy the next day.
Oh.
Yeah.
So when the guy pushed you down the stairs, he didn't even come to reach out to you or to see if you're fine?
No.
Did he go back to the party?
Yes, he went back to the house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I stood up, went back to the house. That is when I started calling the mom. I don't even know where he slept that night because he didn't come to the house. So I don't know if he slept in the car or he slept at their friends. I've never known to date. So that was like the first time he actually hit me. Yes. And I had an option of going back to my sister's, my parents' place. But as usual, the woman is the glue to the house. I went to the hospital, came out of the hospital, went back again to him.
Did he take you to the hospital?
No. And we tried calling him actually. That night, we really tried calling. I remember even there was something that was happening that night. There was mingles. There was an event in Nairobi. Back then it was called mingles. So that was happening, and out of the blues they were like, that day now, the next day, they were like, they're going for mingles. They didn't even tell me it was mingles. They said they're going to study. Yes, because he was doing his master's at that time. So they said they're going to study with their study group or something. And then in the afternoon, I got to receive photos from the friends. They were actually at Ngong Road for mingles. So I was like, okay. And I've been trying to reach him the whole day. I'm not feeling quite well. I need to go to the hospital. So I called the neighbor and I was like, this is what is happening. Yes, so we went to the hospital. They tried reaching him the whole afternoon, the whole evening, the whole night. He was not picking his calls. Yes. And then after I left the hospital, that's when like he went and showed up in the hospital, and then he's like, oh, I'm looking for so and so. I've come to look for Satma here. Oh, still no, she's not here. Yes, but then I had left the hospital and then I went to stay at my aunt's place for that night. I stayed at my aunt's and then took a cab, went to the house. All this while he didn't even bother like, where is she, what is happening, what. So it's
So
sorry.
did you go back to him? Did you continue staying at your aunt's house?
No, I went back to him. I mean, when you love someone.
Did you look for him or did you look for him?
No, I looked for him. I didn't even look for him. I took a cab and went to the house because I was like, okay, by now everyone knows like we are staying together, so we're more like husband and wife. So what will people say? I even had that thing of society. What will people say? What will my friends say? What will my family say? Yeah, and I didn't even tell my family what really happened. I only spoke to the mother. Yes.
When all this had happened, did you get the sense that, this guy doesn't love me, I'm kind of forcing myself onto him?
No, because when I went back, he became all loving, all sweet, all what. Until like 2 weeks later, I don't know, he went out. He said, well, what did he say? I think he was going for a party or something again. He's a party person. So I think he was going for a party. Yes. Then he went, and as usual, women being women, I was calling him the whole night, asking him where he was. So when he came back to the house, he was like, why are you texting me, telling me I'm with another woman, blah, 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 ni. And then I was like, okay, so where were you? Because history has actually proven, like, when you're not here with me, you're with another woman. So where were you? And he was like, no, I was not with another woman. What. He said a lot of things. Then, when I really insisted that he was another woman, he was with another woman, people say there's no rape in marriage and stuff,
Right.
but then it happens.
Satma, I'll have to cut you there so that we can go on a short break, and when we
Okay.
come back, she's going to tell us more about how she went through gender-based violence and how she's able to just walk out of it. Stay tuned to Confessions. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Confessions with me, your host MARYA. Today we are discussing gender-based violence, and our guest Satma was telling us about how there is rape in marriages. That's where we last stopped off.
Yeah.
So you were telling us marriage rape.
Oh yes. Now I was saying like that night when he came back, and I was really insisting that he was with another woman. I've always like been hearing like people getting raped in marriages, and I'd be like, how? That's absurd.
Yeah,
until now, yes, until now it happened to me that night. Then I was like, oh, reality check. It actually happens.
Right.
Yeah. So 2 weeks later, another incident again.
So
But
now
then-
it became something very long.
Yes, and me, I was like, okay, as long as he has not put a ring on it, I'll let him clear these things that he's saying that he's clearing, but I'm still gonna be there.
So you, regardless of everything that had happened, you were still hopeful that he was gonna be a better person, that he was gonna, love you completely.
I was in love,
Yeah.
and he had actually like put me in that space where whenever he tells me like, no, this is not what is happening, I would actually hear him. Love matters of the heart. I was in love. Like, you know what this guy did is that, and I've come to notice like it's a pattern. It's a pattern that most abusers use. Like, he would make you look like he will do everything to make you feel like you're his queen, you're this angel in his life, there is no one else. He will tell you all these sweet things, he will treat you nicely, even in front of people, because honestly, a lot of people, even right now, they don't know like I was going through that, and someone would actually look at me and would be like, and you'll find like this is someone who've been friends for even like 10 years now, and they'll be like, really? This guy? Is he like that? There are even some people who don't even believe like he is like that, you see. But then it became a pattern at that time, and I kept telling myself he's gonna move out of that, because the society that we were raised in, we actually knew like polygamous, it's not a bad thing,
So you were willing to stay regardless of his cheating and his abuse.
But then you see, he had just like abused me once. That had registered
That's the
into
first
my
time.
head. Yes, that was the
When you
first
fell
time.
down.
Yes, when I fell down,
Yeah.
that was the first
But
time.
the rest was just lies.
Lies and cheating, lies, name them, all those things. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna sit here, act pretty, be a good wife, and see where it goes.
All right. So you were acting as a wife to someone who had already not married you, right?
You see. But then we were staying together.
Right.
We were staying together, and we were like, was it 6 or 7 months now at that time? So we were like, it's heading somewhere. So we were like husband.
Was it you or him?
Him, because I remember there's even a time I was telling him, because at first we used to stay with the sisters. When we moved in, when I moved in with him, we were staying with the sisters, because before I moved in, before I even came from Mombasa, he was staying alone. But then when I was moving from Mombasa at that time, he was actually in the process of buying a house and all that. So he was like, no, just come, we move in together. Then I was like, no, we're not even married. Your sisters, what will your sisters say? What will my family say? And he actually really convinced me that very nice way. And he was like, am I marrying my sisters or I'm marrying you?
Satma, at what point did you say enough is enough? What happened? What triggered you and made you say enough is enough? I can't do this anymore.
Well, after I got my child, I cannot say the first 6 months were bliss. Even a year before I got my child, like a couple of months before I got my child, I cannot say like it was all bliss and stuff, cause I used to get slaps here and there, but then I was like, they're just slaps. You see, I had gotten to a point, I kind of got used to that now. They call it tough love.
Right.
Because he would slap me, and the next minute he will be all over me, you see. So after I got my child, things really got bad.
Yeah.
Like after 6 months, like things really went south.
6 months after delivery?
Yes, things really went south.
What happened?
The battering went on another level. Yes. So now it was not only the slaps, and it's actually sorry. We got to blows, kicks, punches here and there. Every weekend, not even, like at least every week I used to call my parents and I'd be like, this and this is what has happened. This and this is what has happened. Oh, mom, I've been beaten. Oh, dad, it's like this. I only told my dad once, and I didn't shed light on him what happened. I just told him, no, he has just slapped me. And honestly, I had a black eye, and I was like...
What did your parents say when you called them and told them what was happening?
They told me to go home. They told me to go home. But then, at that time, you see, I had my child. And I was like, I'm not going to give up. We're going to work on this. So, there was this time. He went out as usual. He went out as usual. Like we had gotten back to a point where he would only come back home at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And I could not say anything about it. Sorry. So every time I would ask, like, where are you? Why are you coming home at this hour? And you see, at that time I had become sickly. I just didn't lose my weight just like that. Remember I told you I was 130 kgs before. I didn't like lose my weight like just like that, exercises, diet and stuff. Sorry. Along the way I became sickly because I told you I got my child in 2014. Yeah. So 2014 towards the end of December, things were not really nice. Came January, we even fought before, like an hour before my son's birthday, That was really a stupid thing to do on my son's birthday. So 2015 I started becoming sickly and I did not know what was really happening. I was not eating, I used to feel pain. It was so serious. And I went to some hospital in Nairobi, actually. a nice hospital, a non-hospital. And they actually misdiagnosed me. And for a whole year, they gave me drugs for something different. They were actually treating something different. So my health deteriorated seriously. I couldn't even move from the bed. And this same guy, I am sick, and he would do the same things that he kept doing. So I remember that time, it was December 2016. No, not 2016, 2015 now. 2015 December, we had a family gathering. Now, my side now, my sisters, we were meeting with my cousins and all that. And I told him, I really want to go and just stay with my sisters. I want to go for this gathering. I've not seen them for a long time. I've been sick all this while, so I want to go and just spend time with them. And he was like, okay, fine, we will go. He helped me from the bed to the car. Okay, it was... know this will sound cliche. At some point he was nice. I don't know if he was bipolar or something. I remember. Oh my God, let me not even laugh. I remember it was no the bipolar thing. It was even me who he was telling. Sorry, and that term bipolar actually, he's even the one who used it on me, because he was like, today you're telling me you want to go, tomorrow you don't want to go, the other day you want to do what, so where is your heart? So what actually happened that night, he didn't show up. And funny thing, he was hanging out with a brother. So I got a call from where they were, and I was told this is where they are. Someone sent me photos of where they were, and they were with a group of women. So around midnight, I called the brother. So when I called the brother, I was like, hey, where are you guys? I'm not feeling well. I have not cooked yet, because at that time I wasn't working. Because at some point earlier, like a few months earlier, before I became sick, he actually came to my workplace, because I had had a confrontation with a sister. So he came to my workplace and he made me lose that job. Yes, where I am right now, I thank God for where I am. God has really been faithful, and I've really gotten support from the family members. And you know, when you have that support, you actually like head in the right direction.
Thank you so much, Satma, for just coming and having this conversation with us. Thank you for opening up. I know this is not easy for you. It's not been easy to just tell us and allow us to get into those sensitive and you know, hurtful parts of your life that you have really worked hard to heal. But because of you, somebody is probably going through the same thing, or you could be helping someone who's almost getting into that. And so for sharing your story, we're so grateful. And we just pray that God would walk with you through this journey, and that you're gonna evolve and succeed in everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for staying tuned to Confessions with MARYA. People, gender-based violence is something very serious, and it's very painful. Yeah. So if you've been with someone who's gone through that, I know you understand how tough that journey is, and sometimes it's very hard, you know, as you've heard Satma's story, it's very hard to get out of that entanglement. And we just pray that we can get more insight and more support from government, you know, and from interested parties to navigate across this, whether it's mentorship, whether it's empowerment of both women and men, so that we are able to just get over this gender-based violence. And gender-based violence is not just for men, I mean, not just for girls and women, but also men. So thank you so much for staying tuned to Confessions with MARYA. Let's tune in again next Saturday for other conversations. God bless.
Ahead on TV 47 weekend. Probing COVID-19 funds, pressure mounting for a speedy investigation into cancer's scandal. WHO has also condemned the misappropriation of funds meant for COVID-19. Revenue divide. The revenue sharing formula continues to elicit mixed reaction.